least I should be. Alright, we should be live, I think. And yes, we are back. Do we have sound? That's a shocker. I did something right. Okay, so anyways. Very quickly, first of all, welcome everybody from the Dice Tower. If you hear that noise, that's my dog drinking water. Of course, she decides to start and do that the minute I go live. I am out here in the kitchen doing this, so we have an unorthodox angle. And also, we are having to deal with some background noise because I'm actually having to do this in the kitchen instead of out in the studio tonight. We've got a couple circumstances that unfortunately I have to be in here, and I wanted to live up and make sure that we got our painting live in here today. Now, next week there's going to be a change on the Dice Tower on Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock. We will be doing our painting live. We will finish up this, and right after that, right before that, we'll be doing War and Pieces. So everything's moved to Tuesday because on Thursday and Friday we will be doing the marathon in which I will be present. So let's just tell you where we are right now, where we're at. I know this is kind of weird angle and weird light, the lighting, but I think you can see what's going on, and I'll be able to explain everything as we go. So please just bear with me as we do this, and I think we'll get through this just fine. Tuesday we'll be back out where we normally are. Now, if you haven't seen, on my channel, I've already done part 1. That's where we've based everything. We kind of put the primary colors on so far, and now we are in our second phase of this where we are going to do a little more detailing, fill in a few more of these things. We're going to give these guys a few minutes to dry, and I'll show you how we will detail these guys up a bit, and we'll finish doing a couple other things. The miniatures are okay on this. If you're just coming in for the first time, Ricky, how are you? Jens, Mario, Serpium, Espen, Dennis, Kabuki, it's good to see you. Jack, thank you. Yeah, don't mind the dogs. If you hear them bark, that means somebody knocked at the door. But that's one thing I always do on my channel is I keep it real and as much as I can, and it's real life here. So that's pretty much it. So, the next thing that we are planning on doing here, let's see. Well, we're working today on the 4 turtles. We're working on 3 henchmen. We're working on, yes, Master Splinter himself. A couple of Foot Clan Elite, and of course, what do they call these guys here? Foot Clan Ninjas. So we'll be touching them up and doing a few things with them in the next hour. We'll get as close as we can, and then we'll finish everything up next Tuesday. Remember, Tuesday, 7 o'clock, you'll see it. I'll plan it out, and we'll go from there. So the first thing that we want to do is we probably want to paint their capes. And their capes, as you can see, are a red. And that's what we're going to be going for, and that's what we're going to be doing. Hi Rob, I've been quite tempted to pick up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to play with my 10-year-old son. Will it play okay with 2, do you think? Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be fun. Every time I say Dice Tower, every time he uses screen, every time... Oh, God. Question for the folks in the chat. Okay, that's good. You can talk to them and I'll paint. How's that? I like that idea the best. So, first thing that we are going to do is we're going to use is it a Mephiston red, or do I want to go a little darker? I always like to go a little darker with red capes. So we're going to use one of the favorites that we use around here, and that is a corn red. So that's what we're going to use on these capes, because they tend to work a little better. And I believe one of our turtles, Raphael, has a red band, so maybe we'll paint that in while we're at it too. So we'll use a little bit of a thicker brush here, but for when we put, because there's very little detail in these guys, we will be using a smaller brush, and we will do our best to get it in there. Well, if you want to answer, if that'd be great too, but I know you use official wash. What? Question for the folks in chat: there's nowhere to actually buy washes where I live. I've tried mixing my own, but it hasn't turned out well. What's a good wash ratio? Yeah, don't use stain. I don't like using the stain thing. I think it's not very good. Alright, so we're just gonna get this on here quick. We're gonna go from the middle, make sure that we have a good feel, get all the thick areas, and then just very easily work our way into some of the other areas here. So like the top of the cloak, and just taking our time. That's the most important with a lot of this, is just taking your time, especially since they're turtles. Turtles are slow, except for these are ninjas. They go very fast. My son loves Ninja Mutant Turtle. I think everybody still does after all these years. And they've been around a long time. I think it was 86, I believe. And this guy has a mask on, so I'm going to have to paint that in there too. And we are going to just hit him pretty hard with the red. Being very careful with the brush. And there we go. I think I'm going to switch to a smaller brush, because that is a very rough area to try to hit him with. You know, I should probably just do this other cape real quick and then clean up. No, okay, there we go. Sorry, I lost track there for a second. Just do the thick areas real quick. And that's how you paint quickly, is you just really use your bigger brush for your bigger areas and have another brush ready to get to the close areas. Saves a lot of time instead of taking a little brush and painting the whole thing and wasting a lot of time. Because if you want to get it to the board, you want to get it to the board quickly. And that's the most important thing. Gameplay is everything, isn't it? Well, good miniatures are helpful too. And these are pretty good. I mean, these aren't Doom quality. I think Doom has set a benchmark as far as board game miniatures are concerned. I mean, they're never going to be Games Workshop quality, but I think they're very nice the way they are. And I think I may have made a mistake there, but I can fix things. That's not a big deal. That's the beauty of it all. Tried to get too cute. Oops. So let's clean off this brush here. And if you want to see how we got everything to this point, you can check out on my channel. You can check out and see what we did for the first hour. But the second hour, we're really going to try to bring these guys to life a little bit. And then just wait till next week. We'll get everybody all finished up. I'll show you how to do everything. Make everything really, really stand out, hopefully. Once I figure it out myself. Main thing is just getting base colors on right now. And this red really helps a lot. It really sells this miniature. And then just getting the edges here is always tough. But just make a nice, good, even line, and boom, you're on your way. And it's easy from there. 1, 2, 3. Just being focused and taking your time is half the battle, folks. And I've heard great things. I think Jason loves this game. This is like one of his favorite games this year so far. And if Jason likes it, it's going to be a great game, right? That's what I say. What is naughty about the ninjas, huh? They're called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles here in the UK due to overzealous censors. Keep forgetting to send pictures. Hey Tony, how are you? It's tough. I live in Mexico. Ryan, how are you? Tobis, painting Mansions of Madness at the moment. 10 down, 20 to go. Cool. Josh, TNMT. Yes. Hey, Alan. All right, so let's just keep going here. Said hi to everybody that we needed to say hi to, I believe. If I missed you, I apologize. I will try to say hello to everyone. I always do. All right. And we're just nice and easy hitting in that area. Just taking your brush and just the smaller brush. After we really kind of went a little fast and got that area painted pretty quickly, all we wanted to do is just make sure that we hit all those areas that we need to hit, and just see how nice and easy I make it painting that cloak. Oh, you know what? Is that blue? I think we have another thing that we have to use the red for. Oh, we got it out. Oh, as you can see, the queen is still not feeling 100%. For those of you at the Dice Tower, she's had pneumonia. That's why we're painting out here today. I want to make sure that we get everything. Oh, no, Splinter doesn't have a cloak on this one. Well, you see, I wish they put the cloak on him, but they don't. I'll show you what's up with that in a minute. Okay, that there, perfect. Okay, so we are going to use our very small brush, and we are going to paint over our gray, and we splashed over a little bit of that what I used here to paint their bodies. I used Incubus Darkness. I really like that color, and I think it doesn't give it a black, but it kind of gives you a little bit of a blue there. Rob, do you ever use an airbrush? Yes. Do you have any instructional videos? No, but now that I have the new software, I will be doing an airbrush one. Getting late in there, we'll have to go. Catch you in another video, Rob. Okay, Espen, we'll take it easy. Good evening. Okay, so anyways, as I was saying, we will be doing airbrushing things. I have new software that I can actually do some talkovers. So I'm really planning on doing some different things. I think you'll see some of the different quality that I'll be able to do for board game breakfast, especially, throw punch the lunch, especially coming up this week. Well, next week's. I think you guys will enjoy the video. And I was able to add some effects, which is unusual for me because usually everything's done half-baked. Alright, so his belt is done, which is red. These guys all have red belts, so we are going to put those in there too. And we're just going to, nice and easy, as you can see, just go in here, take our time, and go over, not worry about anything because anything can be fixed that we mess up. But you like to get it on the first shot and just do it right. And that's the most important thing. And I hear a breathing dog, which means get ready for some water. We have two giant German Shepherds, if you've never watched this show before. And they were out running around. I took them out quickly before the show, so they can do their business. But instead of doing their business right away, they decided to run 100 miles an hour. So, that'd be some thirsty puppies. Awesome, ready for you to teach me the power of airbrushing. Well, Michael, I think you'll enjoy it. You'll be able to see that. Actually, I'm going to be doing that on my channel, I believe. So I'll make sure to talk about it so you guys can see it. And that's the only reason I would even say it. Because right now we're on the Mighty Dice Tower, and the most important thing right now is the Dice Tower itself. And as you know, they have their Indiegogo going right now. And I'm excited about it. I hope you guys will fund the best in gaming there is out there in board gaming. There is no better channel, no variety that can be matched than the Mighty DT. Maybe I'm a little prejudiced because they're my friends, but that's okay. I'm just telling you what I think. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is he's got an eye here, so I just kind of got to be very careful. There is an outline here, which is pretty good. These are not very detailed, so you're going to have to really, really just make sure that your paints are not thick and really get in there. Alright, so we put his eyes in there too. I think I got to put his eyes in too, so if you guys will bear with me, I'll do that as well. And like I said, we'll go an hour today, but probably the big finish on Tuesday will go a little longer. I try to do 2 hours a week, and we're always painting something. Now, Frostgrave, hopefully I'll have my stuff. It didn't come in, and we'll be working on that soon. And I know that's going to be a fun, exciting project to do. And I'll show you a picture of these guys so you get an idea what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish here. The wash is really what's going to help these guys a lot. So we're putting their red sashes on, making sure they're in there real good. There we go. Alright. And just going over this. Perfect. And then paint those eyeballs in. And just taking this small brush and just starting in the middle and just making that little loop there. So all you need to do is just take your time. The smaller the brush, the bigger the area to paint. Remember that. Alright, good job, guys. Get over there. Now these guys are real small, so trying to paint their eyes is going to be really difficult. But hey, we're pretty brave. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Now, let's get to Raphael. And Raphael is the one with the two, ninja things. Nick, go away. Now, let's see. Question, Rob. How do you rate the quality of detail, as IDW don't have a good track record quality-wise with miniatures? Not good. Not good at all. I would definitely say they are... I think they're... I tried to watch Justin Bowles. Okay, I'll just make sure I didn't miss anything. No, these are not great quality. Some of them are okay. I mean, they're good, but they're not great, and that's for sure. That is for sure. So I definitely would say I chose not to go back to back this game because I already got Ghostbusters for my son, but I actually think I personally would enjoy this more. I heard it's supposed to be really, really great, so that's all I can say. All right. So let's do our best to try to get this. Let me turn this a little bit more towards me. I'm sorry, the camera's a little off. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Sorry about that. That's on me. Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Whoops. I'll fix it. That's what you get for trying to do it real quick. That's what I get for doing it real quick. Okay, there is no, and I do mean no detail for this mask. So I'm really going to have to wing it here. So we're going to do the best we can with this. I think it'll work out. Ugh. I hit his shoulder, but that's okay. Because I've got green that I have to go over anyways. So you got to kind of really trying to see where the outline is. And I think we'll have to paint in white eyeballs. How's that? And I'm just trying to get this as well as I can, because I'll be honest with you, there just is absolutely no detail whatsoever. So it's just a matter of taking your time and voila, we have a mask for our old boy there. Oh, of course I've got to drop him 15 times. And you know, I know people say, oh, well, use a stand and this, that, and the other. And you can see that looks pretty decent. So, definitely. There we go. So that's good. We got that on there. And the wash won't affect it. That we're going to put over him in a minute. So let's clean this off. Let's clean that off. I do want to take a little bit of that green that I was doing. And I explained it in the other video, all the colors I use. So you guys will be right where you need to be. So let's just fix that little area that we made, which I feel bad about. And that's all it takes. See, that's how you fix it. Don't get depressed. Don't get worked up over it. It's not worth it. Okay, very quickly we are going to... We're going to let that mask dry. So what I think we'll do is we'll take some lead belcher, as you can see here, and we're going to just do some of the silver stuff that we need to get done. Hold on here. I'm sorry I haven't been following the chat very well. I've been actually trying to do. My boys are actually watching Nickelodeon Turtles right now. Did it really come in a pizza box? No, it did not. Not for this one. I believe the Kickstarter did. I'll buy that for $1. Yeah, I messed up the name of the thing. Rob channel is well worth joining up. Thank you very much. Let me just check and see if I missed anything else. Size. Yeah, thank you, Dutch. I just couldn't, you know, when you start talking, you just can't remember. You cannot remember that much. Okay. Yeah, the live gaming sessions are really fun. Thank you. So let's get back to work here. So very quickly, we're going to touch up some of the silver. We're going to put our metallics in. And here we go. And I promise you Tuesday we'll definitely have a better, we'll be back out in the studio with a better camera angle. Just bear with me today. Thank you so much for being so patient. I don't think this is a bad angle. It's just one of those things today. It's been one of those days. Let's just put it that way. And there we go. His sides. The sides are actually getting painted in, which would be good because we're going to put a wash over this guy. And we want to make sure that we paint everything up before we do a majority of the washes. So there we go, because they definitely will look better with a little wash on them now. For this guy here, we want to catch this little area here. This belt buckle there. We'll drop a little button, some silver buttons on some of his things. His stick doesn't count. Okay, good. So he's good. So that's 2 over there. Now we got to get these swords. And actually, they will match. And we'll go over this pretty good. And there we go. And we'll get this one here. And we're on a pretty good tear here. What time is it? 7:27. All right, we're doing all right. Hoping to get a little payoff on something tonight. So let's see what we can come up with. What do you think? I think we can always come up with something. All right, and then his little belt buckle thing. We want to make sure that we get that real good. And get the back end of this. Make sure that we get that real, we don't miss any spots. We don't want to miss any spots. We're crying out loud. Even though these things are not very detailed. Say it again. Alright, let's go over here. And with his nunchucks, there's a little silver area on the bottom. A little silver area right there. Same thing here. And the same thing there, just so we can give it a little depth. Just a little touch up there. No, never hurts, right? Alright. This guy, we want to make sure that we get his sword. And that works out real good. Meanwhile, these guys are drying, and that's what we want because we're going to do their washes next, just to try to get them moving along quickly. And I really think that we can have this game ready for next Thursday, more Friday than anything else. But I'm looking forward to finishing it up with you guys. Okay, let's do these real quick. Hold on. And Tom pointed out it also makes people maybe think about what they say. Huh? What? Adding the chat to the video is a plus, I think. What? I hope that the live events can... Oh, the chat. Why is... So everyone can see when I ask if the minis are prime. What? Ugh, whatever. Alright, you guys aren't talking about me. You guys are talking about Tom. That's fine. I was thought that there were questions for me. I don't even know what you're talking about putting in the chat. Alright, there we go. So, we're just making sure that we get that all painted in there. Very good. And there we go. And here we go. And we are just really firing away here. This guy, I gotta do a little touch up before we do the wash on this guy. And that's because I made a boo-boo on him. That happens. Like I said in the last video, where I made the mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. And it's good for you to see the mistakes because you can see how quickly you don't panic over it. You fix it when you can fix it, right? And it doesn't take that long to fix something. Alright. Hey, everybody. Let me see. Looking good. Thank you very much, DM Crow. Hope you will do some live plays or play videos. Yeah, we will. I think you'll be shocked when you see that this might be part of the 24-hour 30-hour marathon, this very painted game. We'll see. No promises. It depends on what Tom has planned. All right, so Mr. Splitter, let's just do your silver work here. Is it Splitter? Yeah, it's Splitter. Or Splint. No, Splinter's the... I always forget. Master Splinter is the rat. There we go. I always get confused. Alright. And we're just going to touch over our nice gray prime. And we're just going to get this in here real good. And there we go. And all we're trying to do is just get some of those areas, and then we'll paint some of the skin part in afterwards, because that'll be easy to do, because I got to break out that anyways to do some repair work. So we'll do that before we wash these turtles. Alright, let's get this shoulder here. There we go. Just taking our time painting, and just making sure that we get good coverage and everything where it needs to go. And the same thing here. Using a smaller brush is okay. You know, you don't have to change your brushes all the time. Like right now, I'm just taking my time, making sure that I got good coverage here, and I'm working the brush in, covering all that area so that we get a good effect on this guy. And that's what's most important. Making sure that you just do what you got to do here. Make this guy come to life. There we go. And that goes there like so. And touch that area up. Oops. Boy, I'm butterfingers lately. I don't know why. And according to the video, all right. Rob's been practicing on unopened copies of Munchkin. Rob, I am looking forward to breaking the Mega Meeple live to raise cash for the Dice Tower. Oh, I hope I can do it. I really do. It'd be a slight miracle if I can, because that thing's pretty big. I think I might practice on a few things this weekend, like a Buick. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure I do it, because I really don't want to pay the money, I'll be honest with you. So I will crack that thing. I will not be defeated. I refuse to. So we'll see how it goes. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. What are you going to do, right? It's just one of those things. Alright, let's just make sure that we get this in here. And there we go. Because the shading's really going to come and make a big difference here. So there we go. We kind of got him almost where we need to be. So we can shade him up. So with that said, we're going to take a color called Keslev Flesh, as you can see right here. Alright, Rob, could you hold up the turtle so we can see the shell? I would love to see how it looks. It's not even done yet, dude. It's just there we go. There's the shell. And that's kind of, and this is before it's washed. Well, the eyes will be pretty easy because they're just wet, white dots in there. Do you sometimes like to use inks as washes? No, never. Oh, Lance, and by the way, how are you? I really kind of like to keep it to, excuse me, I'm sorry, went blank there for a minute. I just like using my washes, and I just stay very basic, and like I said, I have a pattern, and that's what works for me. Alright, just doing a little touch up here, because I made a mistake earlier, and I wanted to make sure I fixed that mistake. And let's see, I made a mistake on something else here. I believe it was right back here. And it's okay to fix mistakes. If you make a mistake, don't worry about it. It's only a mistake. Let me tell you, I know there's a lot of guys that are very, very talented out there. But if they've never made a mistake, then God bless them. I've made plenty of mistakes. I do a live painting show every week. Alright, let's just make sure that we get everything all nice and covered here, and that we don't have any area. Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw that. I missed that area. I just like to make sure everything flows. Everything just got to flow right. And we'll take a look at everything when we're done for the evening. Alright, so right here is where we have to make a few adjustments here. And these are not the greatest miniatures, but again, this is, you know, they're good enough to paint. They really are. And it's not something that I think you throw a little paint on them, and I think it'd add a lot more to the game. I really do. I mean, they're that good. I mean, are they GW quality? No, they're not. But I think they did a good enough job where you got some very, very nice. You got something very nice here that works. Is that one of the dogs snoring? Sounds like a dog snoring. Sorry about that, folks. Professionalism. It's one thing I'll never say. I don't have this incredible professionalism for my channel. Or when I do some of this stuff. I'm swelled. I'm swell. I hate painting eyes. Aaron, that's why my minis are sightless. I use Amish painting styles for minis. No eyes. There you go. Listen, the most important thing is you got it done. They're not just little hunks of gray plastic. You just add some color to them. And isn't that what's most important? Just do your best. Enjoy yourself. It's supposed to be fun. Don't let it be frustrating. That's why we do what we do here. So we can show you, and so you guys can learn how to do this. If you're a little confused on something, and just get it to the point where it's enjoyable. It's got to be enjoyable. All right. So there's Master Shredder. Of course, he's smaller than everybody else. Okay, so now here's where I take chances. I could do a couple of things here, but I think the best thing to do is decide what I'm going to do with these guys here. First of all, I'm going to paint over the rest of their mask later, once the wash dries. But we're going to wash over these guys, particularly these four and these three. And him we'll put aside. Him we'll put aside for now because we still have some paint to do. These two we will put aside. That'll probably be for next week, or if we have enough time. What time is it? 7:41. Oh, we got enough time. So I'm thinking now green wash just won't cut it because I've got to be able to cover those bandages. So I really kind of want to use. I don't want to use that I want something that's going to be able to stick out. And using the proper wash, sometimes I have to battle. Now, if I use an Agarath Earthshade, might do it. And a new oil, which is black, would be just too much. Just might be over the top for this guy, especially going over the green. I wonder if I should try both. I think if I put the dark wash in, it just might be too much. It might darken up, but we were going to dry brush a little bit over some of these guys anyways. So, Agarath Earthshade. Serpium wouldn't do it, so I think the Earthshade is what I really want to kind of do. To just kind of darken them up, because we're planning on doing a few things with them afterwards anyway. So let's see how it looks on them. What's the matter? What is the green mat used for? Just a paint catcher? Pretty much. The green mat, it's basically to try to keep me centered, especially on the camera, because I'm not looking at the camera all the time. How are you, Sir Kazak? Good to see you. Jeff? I agree. Badly painted minis are better than hunks of gray. There you go. Anyone badly painted minis are better than hunks... Oh, I'm sorry. Why not do a custom mix of green and septum? I just don't... I'll be honest with you, Lori. I don't think that'll work. Especially if you see how I'm going to have to dry brush over these guys a bit. I'm worried about bringing out the detail in the bandages. Because if the bandages don't work, then the whole thing doesn't work. So let's see how this turns out. So basically, well, hold on here. I think I like this. Yeah, I was right. I think the darker brown works a lot better, and it'll darken up exactly what I wanted. And then the brightness from the masks, when I paint the mask on after this dries, will be a home run. Yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about in a second here. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second here. Because what we can do now is dry brush a little bit lighter green into this. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I hope I can get you guys to see this. So what happens is, and if you look, what I'm doing here is I'm moving this wash around. It's giving me enough depth, but it's also darkening up these bandages, which I want. It's also bringing out what little detail there is here. So it's doing enough, and it's darkening up the green, but not making it a black where it's really just too dark. So I think I'm onto something here. So I think that works. So let's put that guy over there. And we'll do the same thing with our boy here, where we can kind of just work this all in here. And once we paint their masks on, that'll work out real well, I think. And there's enough detail in the shell to give me what I need here. And really try to pull out what I can for this particular miniature. Going a little heavy on the wash, I know, but what I'm trying to do is really give some depth to those bandages. You see what I'm going for? Yeah, I think you see where I'm headed here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take their green skin is what I'm going to do. Now this guy has his mask on, so that's okay, because the red darkens up, and I don't mind that. I don't mind the red darkening up a little bit because I can actually go over it a little lighter and really make it pop. Or I can leave it the way it is and give him a darker look, which is fine too for Raphael. Raphael. And you see what I'm getting on the shell here. I'm darkening up that shell enough, and I'm getting whatever wash I can inside there. And it's just sitting in there enough where when it dries, it's going to give us a really nice finish. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying, when you don't have a mini with a lot of detail, you try to make your own detail, and you try to be as creative as you can. And by using the wash and being able to fit it into a muscle area or whatever little bit of detail they have is a home run right there. Whoops. And I think you'll see it more on the bigger guys. Alright, there we go. And then when I paint those masks on, it's going to make a big difference. And we're doing all right here. 7:48, excellent. We got plenty of time, which is just excellent, 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 excellent. And we're getting some things done here. These are the most important figures, is these turtles, and making sure your turtles stand out. That's what's going to really bring the game alive, and that's what we're trying to do here, to make our little turtles. Yeah, well, they are pretty little. Really stand out, really come alive, and really be the big part of the game here. Now with this guy, you'll see exactly what I'm trying to do. Very little detail here on this guy, but by taking and working this wash in here into his bandages, into his upper torso, into his back. Now all it was, now this took us a little longer than we wanted to, than we normally do. You know, usually we like to put our base colors on pretty quickly. But we took our time because we really had to take our time here. And let's go and move this in here, and you can see what I'm going for, because there's a little more detail here. So now all of a sudden, the way his muscles come out just really stand out. And when we do this, and I think this guy you'll see better than any of them. Oops, come on there, son. You see what we're getting. Matter of fact, I'm going to put let me put the thing on here real quick, so maybe it focuses in a little bit better. And you see what we're getting here. I think you're really seeing how it'll stand out and pop out a little bit. My friend did a commission paint job for 40K in pink. Not sure what the Army unit. The guy paid a deposit but never collected them. That stuff's disgusting. I can't stand when people do that. That's why I always paint for free. My boy Pete and Berkey and others. I try to do my best for everybody. I know Suzanne wanted her Arcadia quest. Not that she would ever watch this show, but I told her I would do that for her. I have to somehow contact her and see if she wants that done. Alright, there we go. You see what I'm talking about. I'll put this guy out a little farther so you guys can see him. See it? No, come on, focus in. You see what I'm getting. I'm getting that. I got the Works edition of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, but it certainly won't be my first attempt, lol. Going to start with Mansions of Madness. And that's a good one to start with. Getting into painting partially because of you, Rob. Thanks for all you do. Thank you so much. Nova Damas. It's actually a cool name. I like it. All right. And we're just getting a nice look here with these bad guys. And that's what we're going for. We really want these bad guys to look good. And this wash is doing a wonderful job of doing that. Very, very excited about this. Excellent. All right. There we go. Let's move these out of the way. Come on, focus in. See how their chest stands out? See it? There we go. You see how everything kind of down to their leggings look pretty good? Nova Prime, that's right. You got that right, brother. Nova Prime 860. Been Nova. I am the Nova Prime, by the way. All right. All right, there we go. All right, so we're gonna put that aside. We're gonna let these guys are gonna have to dry, and we'll come back to them, and we'll finish the turtles up definitely next week. Is this dry enough? I was almost gonna say that we'd work on him. Oh, let that focus in. Sorry, hold on. That's my fault. Come on, focus in. Turn it off, hit it in. There we go. Oh, it's because I did that. Is that why? Oh my god. Alright, I'm going to back this out just a hair. There we go. Sorry about that. There we go. Alright, so now we can see a little bit better what we're trying to attempt to do here. Let's push some of these turtles forward. You see we're starting to get some of the definition. And that scared the crap out of me. Oh, they saw the cat. Nearly jumped out of my skin. Alright, board games are always a shock when compared to video games. I'm lucky enough to have a solid career, so it wasn't that bad. But it was so cool to see we shared the Nova. Thank you, my brother. I was Novodamus years before I met you, but it was so cool to see. Yep. Larry, looks great, Rob. I'm starting with my first project. Just putting primer on yesterday. Going shopping for paints this weekend. That's cool, Larry. Very cool. Make sure you guys check out the first edition of this. How we got to this point. We're going to do the bases and everything. So I'm going to show you how we're going to tell the difference between all of the guys. Not only their masks, but we're going to change up their bases. I'll show you how we're going to finish these ninjas this week as well, Tuesday. Then we're actually going to really do a dark wash on him because we really want to darken up that metal. And then what we're going to do is really come back strong with a nice dry brush over it so it really pops and stands out. So he looks really, really cool. And then I will show you how we'll finish up these guys. There's about 20 of those guys. And we'll get their masks done, which will really bring these guys out. That's why I washed them first beforehand. Then I'm going to do a little bit of a dry brush over. But I want to show you that technique. That'll probably be on the first show. And then the second show, we'll really finish up everything, get it all prepped and ready for the big marathon. So I think we pretty much have everything. So we've got about 4 minutes left. So why don't I take a few questions if you have them. And then we'll call it an evening now that the dog barked. Bad girl. It's always the girls that are bad. But now that we got a good amount of this done, I feel pretty good about it. It's a pretty easy project. We only got about this many more to go, so I'll bang those out pretty quickly. It's nothing. We'll introduce 2 more guys next week. We'll introduce this guy here, which is just just a couple of hooligans, and nothing earth-shattering. I think there's a couple other characters that I got to do that I'll pop in there and just talk about real quick. How can you email me? Well, that's easy. You can email me at novaprime860@hotmail.com. How'd you like that one, Novodamus? Rest well, Rob. Head to bed myself. Now then, catch you another time. Okay, you go easy, my friend. How many minis came with the game? 40. 40 exactly. So we've already got 4, 8, 10, 11, 12 here. So yeah, we got another 28 to go, but that's nothing. And I only started painting this for 2 hours, so I've already pretty much almost got 12 done. Any other questions? Oh, I got my traditional thumbs down, so I feel good. Somebody just didn't like the way I paint. Now that's what I call money, Rob. Thank you, sir. Somebody didn't like the video. Always takes one. So we'll give this a couple more minutes, and then we will call it an evening. First of all, thank you so much. Just remember, do not forget to go support the Dice Tower. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to have a great show like this here and be able to show you guys a new game almost every week that we will be painting. And I really enjoy this, doing this with you guys. It's one of the most enjoyable things I do. So, we don't get them funded. There's no channel, which means I don't have no outlet to paint besides my silly channel. But if anything, thanks so much for everything. I really appreciate everything that you guys do. It's really great, all the interaction. Thanks for all the support on my channel, Rob Orn. You can go over there and see the first part of this. And then, like I said, we're really going to get heavy into this on Tuesday. We'll probably go a little bit longer. And I think that'll be it. So please make sure you go to Indiegogo, support the Dice Tower. And remember, next Tuesday, 7 o'clock, that's when we'll do this. On my channel, we'll go a few hours earlier. So with that said, thanks so much. You guys are the best. And until next time, I will see you guys soon.